Hello! So today we are going to take a look at the new version of London Heathrow Airport available from Inibuilds. Before we get started, I'm just going to check the volume levels, make sure everything looks good. It's all fine. So yes, this is London Heathrow. We're going to fly around it with the drone camera to begin with. And it may stutter a little bit because I have not flown the camera around it previously. So we're going to see some pop in and pop out. And the reason for that is this airport is just absolutely colossal. It's by far the biggest, most high fidelity, most detailed rendition of any airport I have seen in the simulator so far, bar none. So we're just coming down the southern side of the airfield. We started out on the southwestern corner of Heathrow. This is Terminal 4, I believe, down on the corner here. So we'll come around properly and have a look. So we'll just fly around the airport to begin with, and then we'll fly around slowly and have a look in detail at lower altitude and have a look around all the buildings. It's one of the most stunning modelling jobs I think I've ever seen. Not just in a simulator, but ever. It's quite ridiculous, the level of detail. So we're just going around the eastern end of the airport. So you can see there's a number of buildings around the outside of the airport that have also been included. Various road systems have been included. It does say in the official blurb about the airport just how many square kilometres have been modelled, and yeah, it really is something else. So we come round towards the northern side of the airport. You can see little buildings are popping in amongst the photogrammetry where they've actually gone and modelled some of the buildings. So we're just carrying on down the northern side of the airport. This is going to take quite some time to look around the airport, by the way, because it is gigantic. So this is the route a lot of people come in via. So if you visited Heathrow in a car, you'll have come in down this road. And you'll have seen you'll come through here, and this is such a common way to see the airport, and you'll have seen the Emirates model of an A380 there on the road junction. You used to have a Concorde there years ago, and then obviously you go underneath and pop back out amongst the terminals. So let's go and carry on down. So there's comments in the live stream asking how I am. I'm slowly getting better. I've still got the lung infection. I'm guessing it's going to take a while to heal completely, but getting there. So let's go back towards the airport itself. You can see the photogrammetry of London is very good. So you've got car parks galore all the way around the outside of the airport. I've turned the live traffic off just so we don't get aeroplanes moving around on us all the time. But there's a lot of static aeroplanes around. Coming down towards the western end of the airport. It'd be worth having a look actually in the parking lot at the other end when we come round at lower altitude to see if Concorde is parked in the car park, because it should be. So this is Terminal 5. We're going to be coming back this way. Actually, we could work our way along. So Terminal 5 is international. So there's 5 A, B and C. So these 3 buildings that you can see here are all Terminal 5. So you've got car parking here For 5, you can see it's all been modelled. If we come in along here, you can see the extent to which this has been done. It's ridiculous. This is so close to the real thing, it's untrue. I don't think the car parks fill up at busy times. That would be a stretch too far. We'll come back down through the terminals because there's so much to see in them. Because all of the terminals have been modelled internally. It's absolute craziness. You know, right down to every shop placement and seating area. It's absolute nuts. So we've got the lighting here at the end of the runway. They've used heavy use of the load on demand tuning to make sure the airport remains fairly fluent when you are, you know, approaching it or flying out of it. So all the access roads have been built. All of the sound defense measures have all been built as well. So let's go and whiz up this road here. Got a tank farm. But yeah, the closer you look, the better it gets. I mean, this is just a minor detail in a corner of the airfield. Got industrial units, the various, obviously, logistics and service companies that work at Heathrow. But it's all here. It's absolutely incredible. So if we come down under here to have a look. I have no idea how many thousands of hours have gone into the development of this airport, but it's seriously impressive. So you got some of the cargo terminals down here, look. So IAG Cargo. And we carry on down. Coming down towards, I think this is Terminal 4. Let me just get our bearings. Yeah, this is Terminal 4. So the interior of Terminal 4 hasn't been built, but there are elements of it that have been built. But if we come in low along it, you can see the level of detail going on here. It's just pretty incredible, really. So yeah, there's elements of it that have interiors. So you can come in through here, and there's a Starbucks. It's quite amusing. There's more elements of it as you come further along, look. So they have done some interiors for Terminal 4, but not all of them. Okay, so whiz out around the outside of the airport. You can see obviously there's an extension from Terminal 4 out to more gates there. And, oh yes, they have got the Concorde on the edge of the car park. Usually these car parks are filled with cars that have been delivered for distribution. But there is an old Concorde parked on the edge of the car park here that was, as you know, essentially been left here when all the Concordes were grounded. It's been here for years now. Anyway, where are we going next? Over to this hangar. So, British Airways service hangar. It's like a giant Lego brick, doesn't it? Right, let's go and make our way up through the terminals then. So, let me go and have a quick look at the map. of the airport. So this will be Terminal 2B, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, and Terminal 2 is in front of us with the scooped roof. So we'll work our way along from one end to the other. As you can see, if we come in close, look at this detail. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to try and slow the drone camera down a bit. So we're going to make our way into Terminal 2. And this is where it all gets a bit silly. Remember, this is only one of the terminals. We've got about 4 of these to look at. So the performance is remarkably good, and I think the reason for that is they've heavily used load on demand. The downside to that is you do see pop-in of assets now and again, but I've never seen anything like this even attempted in the simulator before, because Heathrow International Airport is gigantic. It is like a city, so they've essentially built an entire city inside the simulator. They may have had to, I'm guessing, well, I'll show you actually. If you're familiar with Terminal 2, I can point out areas where they have simplified the design, because they've had to. Because if you tried to do the whole thing, it would have been as big as, you know, the world simulation. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at the complexity of some of this architecture, just in this one terminal. You've got multiple levels going on. If we fly out over this side, you can see, look, we're still only in one of the terminals. So drone camera, press Shift and X when you're in the cockpit and it will switch to drone camera view, and then if you've got an Xbox controller, the sticks on the Xbox controller will fly the drone camera. Just go a little bit quicker, otherwise it's going to take all day. But yeah, just look at the level of detail. This is just one of the terminals. You can see it does stutter now and again when it's loading further assets. And again, that's the load on demand kicking in. This is always interests me. They've got all of these modern bays now with the self-check-in where you check your own baggage in these days. It's all robotic. So if we fly out through the end, so that was I think it's is it 2B? Let's have a quick look at the map. Yeah, that was Terminal 2B that we've just looked at then. So let's move over towards 2A. So I'll speed the drone camera up as we fly over. So it has this scooped roof. Now if you come in, obviously if we'd come in via car, we would have come in on the opposite side of the airport. And you pop back up in a taxi normally, if you're going in via taxi. And you come in via this road. And anybody who's travelled around Europe and has been through Heathrow will know this. You come in around here and you come to the taxi drop-off area, which is here. And they've built the whole thing. And you eventually drop in through the Queen's Terminal entrance here. And again, the whole thing's here. And you go over the walkway. And it's worth pointing out we're on multiple levels here. Look, you've got the arrivals below us, departures above, and we can drop in to the departure hall at Terminal 2, and the whole thing has been modelled with all of the signage, all of the gates. It's absolute insanity. So if we come down this way, so the one thing I've noticed, and this is really nitpicking, and me obviously knowing this terminal really well because I travelled through it so much with work, is when you come through here, there shouldn't be shops around here. This is where security is in Terminal 2. So this whole area is all the security scanners. So, you know, with roped walkways to go to the... There's just an array of security scanners, this whole hall. And then when you come through security and you come out the other end, then you come through here. And you're out to the air side of Terminal 2, which is obviously where you start to see all the seating. Now, this is where they have simplified this enormously. These are all completely different shops. They've simplified it by just putting a couple of different shops in and repeating them all the way around. But obviously in the real place, they're all completely different all the way around. But we can fly around and come down the travelators. And this is exactly structurally what Terminal 2 looks like. This is just stunning. As I said, the shops are wrong, but the layout of all the seating is perfect. So quite often you'll walk down and you'll go look at the gates to have a look at the aeroplanes. It's really, really nicely done. Even, you know, the various toilets and stuff, they're all perfectly in position. The various gates. The signage is all perfect. It's exactly what it looks like. But yeah, Terminal 2 is big. And like I said, we are upstairs at the moment. We are on the departures side of Terminal 2. If we were to dip down through the floor, we'll loop round again in a moment and descend. So we could do it here, look. We can come down. Another level of the same. Let's just fly around quickly, otherwise we're going to be here for hours and hours. This is all within the same building, look. Look, you look outside. All the structures are there. This really is a tour de force of modelling, really. So if you were arriving, look, here's the baggage hall. With all the various conveyors. So let's go and jump in the air over the top of Terminal 2 and just have a look at some of this modelling outside. It's insanity, isn't it? Absolute insanity. So you've got the Holiday Garden Inn. Obviously saw there's car parks everywhere. But even the modelling of the ground, look. It's just craziness. It really is. So we're slowly moving along towards the west, towards Terminal 5. So if you have a look on the map. So, oh, interesting. Okay, so this is Terminal 3 that we're over the top of. I'm not sure the interior of Terminal 3 has been modelled. As you can see, it's a bit of a... how would you put it? It's not as pretty. Yeah, So here's Terminal 3, look. They haven't built the internals of it. They've concentrated on the externals. Or at least I don't think they have. We can dip into the roof. Yeah, it's only the externals. Because the externals are the interesting thing, I guess, at Terminal 3. With all of the external pipe work and structural elements. Oh, I tell a lie. Oh, they've used the faux 3D for some elements of it, look. Which from a distance obviously saves frame rate enormously. Yeah, they've done that all the way around. Okay, so let's carry on and go and have a look at the control tower. So it's obviously a bit of a masterpiece as well, the control tower, look. It's mad, isn't it? Absolute craziness. If we come in really close to the screens, very cool. And you've got the NATS logo there, National Air Traffic Service. Okay, let's carry on down towards Terminal 5. It's just the level of detail of the tiny details. Like, go and look at this radar over here, look. And it seems to be the same level of detail wherever you look. It's as impressive everywhere. Obviously, yeah, you'll see him pop in here, look. So even with the amount of graphics RAM and system RAM I've got, it's struggling a little bit. But yeah, just if we come in close to one of the airplanes on one of the gates, just have a close look. Okay, so this is one of the Terminal 5 buildings, so we'll go and have a look through it, because we can. And here we go again. Similar story again, with the insanity of developers given free rein to build everything and anything. So let's go a bit faster. And again, we've got multiple levels going on here. I'm presuming, yeah. Oh no, that hasn't got the underneath modelled in this one. But even so, it's still ridiculous, isn't it? Starbucks. Should we fly through around Starbucks? Come out the other side. You can see the gates there. 747 parked up over there. It's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. Look at the roof structures as well. So if we come out of this terminal, we'll come over to the next Terminal 5 building. You can see they've done it again. So if we just slow the drone camera down a little bit so we can have some control over it. But I've never seen this scale of development. Obviously, we've seen odd buildings with this level of detail in, but never this many in one place. You know, when you get close to people, they're really nicely rendered people as well. It's really is quite amazing. So we've got some of the business suites up here, look. This has all been built. Oh my word. It's just absolute madness, isn't it? And this isn't the most impressive building yet. I'm saving the best till last. The big Terminal 5 building is something else. You wait till we get there. Okay, it's over here, look. So again, all of the gates and the ground furniture is just incredible. All of the painting throughout the whole airport of the ground is incredible. All the signage is great. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts being used as a training aid, you know, for taxiing and things like that, for pilots to become familiar with the airport, because it is just insanity. It really is. So there's my Inibuilds aircraft, by the way. I've got the A350 parked up here. So the difficulty with this building is where to start. So we're going to jump in this top corner, I think. I told you it was going to be impressive, didn't I? So there's multiple levels and they're all modelled. So it's one gigantic structure. You can see as we come down. I haven't even switched it on at night yet. I'm just reading the live stream comments. We'll switch it to night in a few moments. We'll have a look around here. But yeah, this is just insanity, isn't it? So if we try and fly along here down one edge of this. I have never seen anything like this in the simulator before. This is just... You can see load on demand is happening, so it is doing its best to not draw things that it doesn't need to. It's mad, isn't it? So obviously we come further out over the side, you'll see that structural complexity that I was talking about. And again, dotted around it, we've got some really nicely modelled people. When you come up to the signage or the display screens, they are high enough resolution to read, which is just mad. I've never seen anything like this in the sim before. I mean, I don't think I think I've only ever been through Terminal 5 once in my life, so I'm not very familiar with it. I'm much more familiar with Terminal 2. I think I'm right in saying Terminal 5 is the transatlantic traffic, isn't it? It's just absolutely mad. Yeah, so not everything has content, which is, although I suppose this is underneath the building, isn't it? So is there anything below here? Nosing around in the 3D structures now to see what has and hasn't been done. But isn't it impressive? So this is obviously our aeroplane we've got parked up here at the gate. So if we come in closely, I mean, look at the level of detail on the gates. The jet bridges. Obviously the aeroplane looks great. We know the A350 looks great. But today I just wanted to focus on the airport. So I guess we could go and fire up the A350 and take it for a quick flight. But we were being asked about night lighting, weren't we? So let's go and open up the weather dialog and move the time of day. And slide this back to the early hours of the morning. And yes, they've done it perfectly. So even the shops are lit properly. So you've got lighting inside the buildings. Very cool. So they haven't forgotten it at all, look. So if we come out of the building, you can actually see the insides, look, with all of the shops lit up. That's insanity, isn't it? So there you go. London Heathrow from Inibuilds, the new premium version of it. I think it's the most impressive airport I've seen so far. It probably pushes the simulator more than any other that I've seen so far. So let's come back down towards Terminal 2. You can see the load on demand happening, look, with it swapping objects out, replacing simpler objects with more complex ones as we get closer. It's impressive stuff though, isn't it? It's very clever. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little look around Heathrow. I'm not going to do a flight with it today. This is purely to look at the airport, just to show you around it. Obviously, you can go and do operations from here to fly wherever you want in the world, really, because it's an international airport. So I just thought it would be interesting to show you it. So let's go and change the time again. Take us back into daylight. So even the textures on the ground are really nicely done. So let's just, to prove that, let's go and look at the runways. I mean, look at that. And the closer you get, the better it gets. How far have they taken this? Let's go right down to the... That's just mad, isn't it? Look. So yeah, impressive, I think is the term. Wherever you look at this, it's impressive. So you've got the grass there, look, at the edge of the strip. You've got grates with reflections on them and the paintwork. Let's go and have a look at the paintwork up close. Yeah, it starts to give itself away a little bit, but I'm not going to nitpick it to that level. Considering everything we're seeing here, it's mad, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, essentially they've modelled an entire city to an insane level of detail. So there we go, London Heathrow Airport in Flight Simulator 2024. You can see, look, where they've simplified the shapes as we get further away, meaning that it remains absolutely smooth when you're on approach. You can see it's smoothed right out as we got further away. So they really have gone to town on making it, you know, render itself appropriately. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So that was London Heathrow. There's a link in the notes of the video if you want to go and have a look at it at Inibuilds. It's actually remarkably reasonable prices as well. So it's £26, about $34, 31 euros. And you can get a discount if you already own the previous version from 2020. So the 2024 version, this is the premium version for 2024. You can get a huge discount if you owned it previously. So there we go, London Heathrow. I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.